Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and I'm gonna go dun 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 dun. You can't touch this, and dun 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 dun. Shh. Ice, ice, baby. Because today we're talking about MC motherfucking Hammer versus Vanilla. I guess ice hole. So the question is, this is MC Hammer versus Vanilla Ice. So the question is, which one is better? Which one stands the test of time, if either? And which one should you show your kids if you want to introduce them to old school hip hop, if at all? Um, so let's start with MC Hammer. I'm not going to bring up the lawsuit against Vanilla Ice regarding fucking loser ass Queen, who I hate more than any band at all on this earth, against Vanilla Ice for riffing their track because MC Hammer did the same goddamn thing with You Can't Touch This and nobody gave a shit, you know, because it was a black guy borrowing, or I guess you could say paying homage to another black artist. And the MC Hammer trial was just two white dudes bitching over copyright. Fuck off. Anyways, I digress. So MC Hammer is most notable for the Hammer Pants and the track You Can't Touch This. Now, he had more than one album, believe it or not. And he actually had an album released by Death Row Records, a gangster rap G Funk album. I have this album. He changed his name to Hammer for it and did a track with the Dog Pound. You know, Young Gotti and I'm just gonna say Daz because I'm not gonna dare say his name he went by back in the day. Not at all. I'm too white for that. But Daz Dillinger and Corrupt the Kingpin Young Gotti did a track with Hammer. It's a good track. Don't get me wrong. It's actually a good track. Not a great track, but you know what? It's bumping. I'll give it that. If you haven't heard it, look it up. That track is bumping. Pumps in a bump? Fuck off. That track is goddamn awful. But that track they did together, Hammer and the Dog Pound, pretty good track. Check it out. The rest of the album, meh, meh. Now, his biggest album was Please Hammer Don't Hurt Them, which is the one that had You Can't Touch This, I believe. Now, he had other albums. I don't remember the names of the albums. I own them all. His entire discography on CD. His entire discography on CD. Please Hammer Don't Hurt Them is probably my favorite of his albums. I don't remember the names of the other albums. I'm sorry. And that's partially because they're forgettable at best. But also, I have a hard time with album names in the first place because some of them are just like, what the fuck? And it's just confusing because I have a hard time with names. So I mix names up a lot. Um, and it's okay. You Can't Touch This is most likely his biggest hit. He had a few other hits. He had Pray, which was pretty big radio hit. He had the theme song to the Adams Family, which I think was just called the Adams Family Jam or Rap or something like that. It was lame. Not a good song. Pray's a good song. He also had Too Legit to Quit, which was an MTV hit. The video got more play than the song did on the radio, from what I remember. Because I don't ever remember hearing the song on the radio, but I saw that video all the time, and I couldn't do the movements. It was like too something, whatever. I can't do the movements. It was a stupid video, but we fucking ate it up as kids, because, it was the 90s. What you gonna do? He's had a few other minor hits, which I can't remember the names of because they're inconsequential. He also did a track for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie soundtrack, which is an okay song. It's not the greatest MC Hammer song. It's not the greatest movie tie-in song, but it's okay. It's worth. If you have the TMNT soundtrack and you're gonna play it, you're not gonna skip that song. You're gonna let it play. That's one of the songs on the album you're going to let play. Now, MC Hammer was also notable for his dance moves. Now, MC Hammer, sidebar, had an animated TV series loosely based on his music and his performances. I believe it was called Hammer Time. Don't quote me on this. I watched it. He had magic shoes that when he put them on, he transformed into Hammer Pants and danced the bad guys away. That was his superpower. It was stupid, but whatever. It was the 90s, whatever. We didn't fucking care. Like I said, we were dumb kids back in the day. Excuse me. Sorry for that. My nose is getting clogged up. MC Hammer got into some controversy and ended up having to file for bankruptcy because the hits stopped coming, the dollar bills stopped coming, and him went broke. Now, he turned into a pastor of sorts and became a Christian icon, question mark? Which is not my problem with him. His religion is none of my goddamn business. And it's none of my business. I don't need to hear about it. I don't need you preaching at me. You can live your life. Leave me alone. Let me live mine. I'm a pagan, for God's sake. I don't need to hear this bullshit. Christo-fascist. Well, this should be illegal because the Bible says so. First of all, no, it doesn't. Second of all, the Bible is not a legal document. So stop fucking quoting it. God damn it. All right, anyways. Not important. Vanilla Ice. God, where do I begin? Vanilla Ice was the white boy rapper before Eminem came on the scene. He was the palatable for white kids. Now, the Beastie Boys already existed, but the Beastie Boys were a legit hip hop group. Vanilla Ice was manufactured by the record industry to try to sell hip hop to white kids. Which it was like, the Beastie Boys are already doing this, thank you very much, and they're doing it well. We don't need your manufactured fake ass dude doing it. You know, we would get, like I said, Marshall Mathers a few years later, who was a legit hip hop star. Vanilla Ice was manufactured from day one. Not as manufactured as Marky fucking Mark, who was just Vanilla Ice Light or dollar store Vanilla Ice, which, come on. If you're a Vanilla Ice knockoff, you need to get out of the rap industry, go into Hollywood and make movies, change your name to whatever the fuck it was, and pray to God we forget you were Marky Mark. We're never going to forget you were Marky Mark, dude. I'm sorry. But anyways, we're not talking Marky Mark today. That's a whole nother video for a future time. I got thoughts on Marky Mark. Oh, do I? Anyways, so Vanilla Ice came on the scene with mega hit. And yes, it was a mega hit. The video, it got radio play. It got featured on like talk shows, late night TV. In Living Color spoofed it. I think SNL spoofed it. I mean, it was a mega hit. White kids, especially white kids in the Midwest, suburban, small town Midwest, ate this shit up. Why? I don't fucking know. Yes, Vanilla Ice was one of the first rap tapes I ever owned. To the Extreme was one of the first rap tapes I ever owned. Partially because the ones I wanted had that forbidden sticker on them that told my parents not to buy it for me. So I had to get it through other means. But also because they actually bought me To the Extreme. And they're like, hey, you like rap music? You might like this. Okay. So, I didn't talk about MC Hammer's music. I'm not going to talk about Vanilla Ice's music yet. That's coming down the road in this same video. So keep watching, please. Vanilla Ice was obnoxiously offensive with his attire and his dance moves. He was not a good dancer. MC Hammer was. I'll give Hammer that. Now, rapping ability, neither one of them had it. MC Hammer did a lot of his raps were, I'm here on the scene. I'm super mean. You can't touch this. Dun 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 dun. All of his songs sounded the same. He would have at most 5 or 6 bars, like raps, literal rhymes, 5 or 6 rhymes, not even a whole verse, and just loop the whatever the hook was over and over. Sometimes the hook was just like, they put me in the mix. They put me in the mix. They put me in the mix. Okay, we get it. They put you in the mix. Jesus Christ. His songs were obnoxious. Now, Vanilla Ice also couldn't rap to save his life. But his raps were, hey, I'm white. I'm walking down the street. I'm pretty fucking mean. Except for he wouldn't say fuck. And you should buy my tape because I'm so great. No, 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 no. He couldn't rap to save his life. Now, Vanilla Ice didn't file for bankruptcy and turn into a weirdo Christian dude like MC Hammer. What Vanilla Ice did was said, this rap metal thing is kind of taken off and the white kids like it. So he made an attempt to get into that scene, and Vanilla Ice fans, white kids, suburban fans, metalheads, and fans of the rap metal movement, if you like Limp Bizkit, I guess, were united in their rejection of him getting into that scene. They were like, no, dude, we don't want you, fuck off. Go away, please, thank you very much. We were all collectively over Vanilla Ice. Yes, he put a spell on us with Ice Ice Baby. Tried it again with his follow-up, Play That Funky Music, which was a ripoff of a disco song, of all things. Which is like, I understand a lot of hip-hop artists do sample funk music and R&B music and Motown music, you know, music with a beat and a rhythm and a bass line, but Vanilla Ice was sampling pop music, question mark, and disco music, and it was like, no, dude, no, 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 no. That's not how you do it. It's like that episode of Friends where Joey was trying to pass as a teenager. He's like, yo, homie dogs, how my cat's doing in the cribble? And I was like, no, dude. No. No, don't. Just don't. Just don't. Please don't. Vanilla Ice was never cool. Now, did we all jam to Ice Ice Baby? Yes, we did. And if you say you didn't, you're a liar. And I'm sorry, you're a liar. You jammed to Ice Ice Baby. Don't tell me you didn't. I was there. I was a wedding DJ. Every fucking wedding. I went to 30 weddings in my time as a DJ. Every 100% of the weddings I went to. It didn't matter if the majority of songs were country or the majority of songs were Lady Gaga or whatever. It didn't matter. They did not get on the dance floor and bump and grind until I played Ice Ice Baby. Everybody fucking, you get drunk at a wedding. Everybody jammed to Ice Ice Baby. And this was like a few years ago. This wasn't 20 years ago. This wasn't 15 years ago. This was just like 7 or 8 years ago. I was a DJ. They were still jamming to Ice Ice Baby. So don't tell me you didn't shake your booty to Ice Ice Baby. You did. Okay? You did. I know you did. You can't deny it. Just own it. You can shrug it off and say, look, it was the 90s. Whatever. We all did, but we're ashamed of it. But you don't have to lie about it and say you didn't. If you're the one person that it was alive in 1989, 1990 that didn't listened to Ice Ice Baby, you were probably deaf or you were Amish because you couldn't get away from that song. It was everywhere. Now let's talk about the music. MC Hammer had a legit hip hop DJ making legit hip hop tracks. He just sucked as a rapper. So it was like, okay, you got a good beat, you got some good hip hop tunes, but dude, shut the fuck up. We don't need your voice. That DJ probably would have been more successful paired up with literally anybody else. Now, Vanilla Ice, to his credit, or the credit of the record company that manufactured him in a lab, he's basically Ivan Drago for rap music. He was bred in a lab. The company that manufactured him did actually accidentally somehow hire a legit good DJ to help produce some of his tracks. I know this because that DJ went to work with Dr. Dre at Death Row Records and produced some fan-fucking-tastic fucking jams you probably didn't know were produced by the guy that made Ice Ice Baby. This is the reason why Suge Knight showed up all mafioso one day and, let's just say, extorted royalties out of Vanilla Ice and used that money with Dr. Dre's cash coming in from, fuck the police, to launch Death Row Records in the first place. So you have to at least give Vanilla Ice incidental credit for helping create the greatest fucking music ever, which is Death Row G Funk. Because there is no music on this earth that is more soothing to the soul than Dr. Dre's Chronic, or Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style, or the Dog Pound's whatever, dog food. Fucking fuck yeah, that's the shit. And it culminated with Tupac's All Eyes on Me. If you're gonna tell me you never liked Vanilla Ice, I'm not gonna believe you, but okay, dude, whatever. Fine, if you insist. I'm not gonna believe you, but I'm not gonna fight you on it. But you're not gonna tell me you didn't jam to All Eyes on Me. You're never gonna convince me that. Fucking everybody that liked rap music, white, black, or whatever, was fucking listening to All Eyes on Me. You can't convince me otherwise. Whether it was Two of America's Most Wanted, or it was Can't See Me, or Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, or, California Love, you were at least aware of All Eyes on Me. You probably had singles from the double album if you didn't have the entire double album. Which, if you didn't have the double album, why not? Also, get on it. It's on Spotify. Just go, after this video, go to Spotify and listen to, in its entirety, the entire double album of All Eyes on Me. And then come back and be like, oh yeah, G-Funk is the shit. Because you're not going to listen to that music and not feel things. You're not gonna. Unless you're heartless or racist. Which, if you're racist, don't watch my videos. Please go away. I don't need you. My girlfriend is not white. She's part Hispanic, part African American. Well, African. She's not American, but she's got black blood in her. So I'm definitely not racist, and not just because I'm dating a partially black girl, but also because I have a brain and I know people are people. I recognize black history is important, and black people have struggles that even us queer people can't identify with. But I also know as a queer person, I can stand in solidarity with the BIPOC community because I happen to be a minority myself as a queer person. Not only have I faced discrimination in all facets of my life, in some states, it's legal to discriminate against trans people, and it's socially acceptable to discriminate against trans people, which is bullshit. But anyways, that's a tangent. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Should you listen to MC Hammer and or Vanilla Ice today? Well, I'm going to say only in certain circumstances. So let's spell it out. If you're at a wedding, specifically, or more specifically, a white wedding, white person wedding, or, a wedding in general, because I'm sure black people, I never officiated or DJ'd any black weddings, but, so I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure they if they didn't play Ice Ice Baby, I would believe it, but I'm pretty sure they probably played You Can't Touch This as the alternative. Now, at those weddings I went to, You Can't Touch This, yeah, we didn't touch it. That song did not get played, but Ice Ice Baby did. I know, whatever. You can read into that however you want. This was not my decision. I worked for a company that gave me a playlist of songs you can play and songs you can't play. And You Can't Touch This was on the list of songs you never play ever, even if they request it, even if the bride insists you do not play that song. There was not a long list of songs that were forbidden, but You Can't Touch This was on the forbidden songs. Now, just a tangent, which I'll go into my time as a DJ in another video, but just as a tangent, Da Dip by Freak Nasty was on that list. Freebird was on that list. White Wedding, I know it's a wedding. White Wedding was on that list of songs you never play unless the bride pays extra. We had a white wedding fee. It was $100 extra if you wanted us to play White Wedding. Yes, you had to pay us $100 extra if you wanted us to play White Wedding at your wedding because it's played out. You don't play White Wedding at a wedding. You don't. Now, did we? Yeah, if the bride, if she shelled out the money, we did. If not, no, we didn't touch it. I don't remember all the songs that were on that list. Those were just some of the songs you don't play. Moni Moni was a song that was on that list. I do remember that. That was Don't Even Play It. I don't remember all the other songs that were on that list. Oddly enough, tangent, Backstreet Boys were listed under our hip hop playlist. I take issue with that. The Backstreet Boys are not hip hop. But I digress. I argued with my boss over that, and he said it's the company, it's not me. And there was nothing I could do because it was a company, it was a corporation. I'm not going to say which one it was. There's not a lot of wedding companies out there. Actually, there are. But anyways, there's a lot of wedding DJs. Excuse me. Did I have fun as a wedding DJ? Yes. At a wedding, I'd say it's socially acceptable to play Ice Ice Baby. I don't think it's socially acceptable to play You Can't Touch This, and I don't fully understand why. Now, at a graduation party, you're not playing either of these songs, most likely. Birthday parties, probably not, as in 99.99999 to infinity% likely not. But I don't know, I mean, nothing is guaranteed. I can't think of any other socially acceptable, legitimate instance where you're going to play To the Extreme in its entirety, or random tracks from it, or anything by MC Hammer, except maybe You Can't Touch This. If you're putting on, it's Friday night, and you're putting on your 80s, 90s, old school retro hip hop jams playlist on Spotify, maybe you put You Can't Touch This out in that playlist. You probably don't put Ice Ice Baby in that playlist. But I'm not going to judge you or begrudge you if you do, because it's in my retro 80s hip hop playlist. Now, do I skip it when it comes on? Yeah, I put my playlist on shuffle, and I skip over the songs I'm not in the mood for. And it is exceptionally rare for me to get in the mood for Ice Ice Baby. it's even rarer for me to get in the mood for You Can't Touch This. But that's only because You Can't Touch This was the bigger hit, which meant it got played more. So it got played to death. And I'm sorry, it's not a good song. So by today's standards, no. There's better examples of hip hop out there, rap music out there, old school rap, old school hip hop to introduce your kids to if you want to show them the classics. MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, and Marky Mark, just throwing that out there, none of them produced any classics. Not by a stretch. So that's my discussion of MC Hammer versus Vanilla Ice. You notice I didn't get into movies because, oh my god, that's a whole nother video. That would be like a part 2 of this video. Stay cool.